Has a therapist ever told you something completely unexpected? 1. Run the dishwasher twice. When I was at one of my, mentally, lowest points in life, I couldn't get out of bed some days. I had no energy or motivation and was barely getting by. I had therapy once per week, and on this particular week I didn't have much to bring to the session. He asked how my week was and I really had nothing to say. What are you struggling with? He asked. I gestured around me and said I dunno man. Life. Not satisfied with my answer, he said no. What exactly are you worried about right now? What feels overwhelming? When you go home after this session, what issue will be staring at you? I knew the answer, but it was so ridiculous that I didn't want to say it. I wanted to have something more substantial, something more profound, but I didn't. So I told him, honestly, the dishes. It's stupid, I know, but the more I look at them the more I can't do them because I'll have to scrub them before I put them in the dishwasher, because the dishwasher sucks, and I just can't stand and scrub the dishes. I felt like an idiot even saying it. What kind of grown-ass woman is undone by a stack of dishes? There are people out there with actual problems, and I'm whining to my therapist about dishes, but he nodded in understanding and then said run the dishwasher twice. I began to tell him that you're not supposed to, but he stopped me. Why the hell aren't you supposed to? If you don't want to scrub the dishes and your dishwasher sucks, run it twice. Run it 3 times. Who cares? Exclamation mark rules do not exist. It blew my mind in a way that I don't think I can properly express. That day, I went home and tossed my smelly dishes haphazardly into the dishwasher and ran it 3 times. I felt like I had conquered a dragon. The next day, I took a shower lying down. A few days later, I folded my laundry and put them wherever the fuck they fit. There were no longer arbitrary rules I had to follow, and it gave me the freedom to make accomplishments again. Now that I'm in a healthier place, I rinse off my dishes and put them in the dishwasher properly. I shower standing up. I sort my laundry. But at a time when living was a struggle instead of a blessing, I learned an incredibly important lesson: there are no rules. Run the dishwasher twice. 2. When my daughter was 4, she was bitten on the face by a dog. We were told to follow up with a therapist because of the traumatic experience, so we did. We saw the therapist once a week for months and both her father and I were present at the appointments. On one occasion her father, who was my husband at the time, could not make it to the therapy session. At this particular session, when her father was not present, the therapist took me by the hand and said take your daughter and run. I looked at the therapist, who already knew that my relationship with her father was a verbally abusive one, and it didn't take a genius to figure that out. The therapist said my ex-husband was a narcissist and if I wanted to save my child I had to leave him. 2 months later I filed for divorce. 3. My therapist, who I had been seeing for about 5 years at this point, hurt her back. For several weeks she would come to our session in pain, still hurt. Finally she made an appointment with the doctor to see why she wasn't healing. On our next appointment on our way up, we rode an elevator. I asked what the doctor said. She said a bunch of junk. I'll tell you later. Near the end of our session, she told me she was diagnosed with breast cancer and that it had spread to her liver and bones. All I could say was I'm going to cry. She went on to say how I could support her by not Googling this because of all the scary and inaccurate info out there, and that she had an excellent team of doctors, and treatment had come a long way. But I knew that stage 4 breast cancer was a death sentence, and I was devastated. She carried on seeing me for another year, then it was time to say goodbye. She let me text her to check in, which today I feel selfish about because I didn't want to let her go. Then, not long after her 46th birthday, she died. I still think about her often. I hear her therapeutic words, or remember a joke she cracked. I remember how brave she faced this disease and how selfless she was, continuing to see me, rarely canceling, even while getting chemo. She was so much to me. I will never forget her. 4. Yes, I was in a long-term relationship and there were many issues that were red flags and I knew it, but was not going to marry this man without going to more couples therapy, with another therapist than mine, than what we'd been through. And maybe / probably not even then it was with my therapist that I was told something totally unexpected. One session after relating some typical unhappiness with the relationship and crying, I just stopped because my therapist, of 4 years, was just sitting there. She looked sad and she said to me, when are you going to admit to yourself as a person, an intelligent woman, and a professional that you may be done, because given everything either he is not capable or will not do it. OMG, I didn't know what to do with myself. She was right, of course. But could I take this? I couldn't breathe at first. I had to gulp and catch a breath. How long had she known this? I asked her. Her answer: as long as you have. OMG, fantastic and correct answer. My healing started then. Until then I'd been playing at it. I wanted it, but I wouldn't make that very awful decision. CWW.